California, auto insurance costs set to rise by 54%. News report says this is ABC. Rob, do you have a video on this, or it's like a 23-second video?
I do. I have the newscast where ABC reports on the jump.
Let's do this. Let's go to beautiful Ty. Go ahead and play this clip.
By the end of the year, the typical auto insurance policy in California set to rise by 54%. That's according to a new report by Insurify. And compared to 2023 as well. Right now, California's average annual premium is around $1,700, but it's projected to rise to $2,600. The jump due to increasing claims, storm damages, and costly repairs.
By the way, is it Insurify or Insurify?
Insurify.
Why did he say Insurify? Like,
because he's
reading a teleprompter with a bad tie.
That was like that was a
Ron Burgundy moment.
That's a Ron Burgundy moment as well. But let's kind of go through this. Forgive this man. By the end of the year, typical auto insurance is going to go up 54%. And by the way, you may ask and say, but that's everywhere. That's everywhere. Look at this right there. Let's break that down. According to a new report published by Insurance Tracker, the cost of full coverage across the U.S. is set to increase 28% during that time period. But some states, including California, are seeing a year-over-year rate hikes of more than 50%. June of 2023, full coverage was $1,666. A month ago or 2 months ago was $2,417. By the end of the year, it's expected in California to be $2,681 in the state of California auto insurance. And meanwhile, folks, insurance carriers are leaving the state. They're flat out sitting there and saying, there is no money to be made in this state. I'm out. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even make sense for us. Geico shut down their 38 office. They're like, we're done. We're out of here. More and more carriers are leaving because the state of California. Tom, are you following how the Department of Insurance is putting in I don't know if you're following the FAIR Act. Are you close? Are you
yeah, I know
fully
what you're
worded in
talking
FAIR
about.
Act? Go ahead. Give us a little breakdown of it.
So, the California DOI is basically putting in price controls.
Tom.
Mia.
أسرع همزوم أبا مية لا خم دي خدمة شات لما قناش Go ahead. Go.
Not a man or woman alive doesn't enjoy a delightful coffee.
Right.
No, what the California Insurance Commissioner, the DOI, there is trying to do is is basically price controls, because the insurance carriers are bringing forth fact-based analysis that said the risk of theft in California is higher, so that's loss.
Yep.
But inflation has decimated the labor rate, which has gone up 33%, and parts are up 30%. So, Vinny, that means if your car crashes and I'm your insurance guy, I'll say, hey, pay your $500 deductible, and then I have to pay the rest to the shop, right? But I just have a 30% increase in parts, 35% increase in labor, so that's killing me. So what do I have to do? I have to charge you more.
For every year, not for the
every year, because
does the deductible go up, Tom?
No. Your deductible
Just
stays whatever you want to keep it. And by the way, you probably move your deductible to $2,500, trying to get your insurance down. But now your deductible's higher if you have something. And so what the California DOI is basically trying to do is price controls. And so the California insurances, Pat takes his insurance company, goes to Sacramento, and says, look what's happened to labor, look what's happened to parts, look what happens to risk of theft. Man, I need to raise rates here in California, and not a little bit, because I can't make a good business. No, you are going to be, subject to the FAIR Act, and we're going to control how much you can go up each year. And he said, okay, well, then I need to tell you about the Leave Act. What's that? I'm leaving California and doing more business in Georgia, Florida, and Texas. Have a nice day. And then they're like, the first time it happens, California said, yeah, whatever. But guess what? They keep saying, yeah, whatever, and there's not enough carriers to cover Californians.
And by the way, are you following the dollar amount of the FAIR Act?
No, I've not got into the quantitative.
Okay, so Adam, do you have any thoughts on this before I go into the FAIR Act?
Yeah, of course. I think, one story that comes to mind is we talked about this in 2020 when Biden was proposing certain tax hikes, and it was capital gains and income tax. So follow me for a second.
We're going to get into it. So don't go into capital gains, because that's a separate story. Okay,
I'm staying right here on insurance. Good. But there was a metaphor that you used. Do you mind if I grab you? And you asked the question, like, at what point, if someone's doing this, doing this, poking you. Are you like, dude, enough's enough?
That smile is 2 steps away from one of these.
All right, we're going to go there right now?
No.
8 minutes later, he's still pushing you. You're like,
I'm like, what's up, Pat? You want some of this?
Yeah.
But the reality is...
I'm confused. Are we still on insurance?
How much are Californians going to take is my point. Whether it's taxes, whether it's regulation, whether it's insurance, whether it's crime, whether it's homeless, it just feels like a perpetual hand of the government pushing you. And you know, there's 3 camps. There's the rich people who are like, dude, I got enough money, get the hell out of here. I'm
in the hills.
Elon
I'm in the hills.
Musk,
It doesn't
whatever.
affect me.
But even if you're staying there, you're still dealing with this stuff. All right, I can get out of here. I get enough money. You have the poor who are going nowhere. Right, they're living on welfare. They're living in the government. Like they don't really have a choice.
Yeah.
But then you have these middle class people that are getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And the biggest fear is like, where's the middle class going in California? Because the insurance, the taxes, the maintenance, whether you're buying a house, whether you're buying a car, all these other factors add up. Nobody's thinking when I get a car, all right, well, insurance. It's like, well, your insurance just went up 50% almost. That's $750 for insurance. That's nationwide. In California, it's $1,000. So then you have to do the math. How much is my income going up? If my income's not going up, how much of these expenses am I just going to be driving to the poorhouse?
Yeah. And can I ask you an honest question? What is the ultimate goal of a mayor, of a governor, of a state like that? And I'm being genuinely, I'm inquisitive. All the crime, Pat, all everything that we're seeing, insurance, people leaving, all that. What is the end goal for this guy? Does he want complete and utter chaos? So like we're gonna have to rely on the government. Like what is the goal?
There's when you think about in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I want to address that, and then I'm going to go to the Justin story because I want to still address what's going on with California.
Yes.
But the job of a politician is, one, to be great on camera, okay, in their mind.
Yeah.
One, to be able to spin and get out of when you're being cornered. So that's a skill set some of them have, some of them don't have. Then the next one is your job is to make the city, the state a better place. And the way you go about making a place a better place is either the government knows what's best for you or you know what's best for you. And that's the battle, okay? And in this case, in the state of California, it's filled with people like him, Newsom, people like Kamala, people like Nancy Pelosi, who think they know what's best for you, right? You saw the George Clooney, getting criticized, the open letter, and says, hey, honestly, I haven't addressed this thing about Biden, but I got to tell you, I think the right person we have to recognize is his selflessness, because the only person we can compare Biden to is George Washington. When he said that, I threw up a little. I don't know if it was pretty bad. We were at Angelo's when I saw this clip, and I feel bad because it came up a little bit.
Probably because they're close to the same age is probably what he meant, wasn't it?
But more importantly, when you're seeing this, and then you see Nancy Pelosi on the back end, she's the one that had to get him to want to step out. But these are the people that think they know what's best for Biden. They know what's best for you. They know what's best for everybody. Watch this here, Rob. Pull up the article about the FAIR Act. This is, again, state of California comes out with this plan called the FAIR Plan Insurance. The FAIR Plan Insurance is for people who don't get homeowners insurance coverage. By the way, you know what percentage of people are not getting homeowners insurance coverage? Let me tell you how many people are getting declined, okay? California Association of Realtors 2023 Annual Housing Market Survey found that nearly 7% of real estate deals fall through in the state of California out of escrow for one reason. You know why? Because the buyers couldn't afford the insurance. So imagine you're trying to buy a house. You're like, oh my God, babe, we got to prove this is so awesome. You're in escrow. Hey, you got to get homeowners insurance. Awesome. How much is homeowners insurance? $13,800. What?
Wow.
I can't, babe. What are we going to? So then they're like, oh, we can't afford it. 7% are bailing. That's 1 out of 14. Think about 1 out of 14 deals. You can't afford to buy the house because
you can't pay for insurance.
Of homeowners insurance. So then, California has 40 million people living there. 55% of adult income earners that own a house. But when you go through this, they came up with this FAIR Act. Rob, can you pull up the FAIR Act? Here's how the FAIR Act works. Okay, the FAIR Act is built for the people who don't get qualified for homeowners insurance. The state comes and says, don't worry, we got you. So the FAIR Act, they say it's not a government-backed program. It is financially supported by California's private home insurance companies, not taxpayers. You know what this means? So let me tell you what this means. So companies such as State Farm, Allstate, okay, Who else you got? I'll give you a few names. USAA, Travelers, Nationwide, Chubb. They're forced to be a part of this. So it's like pay for play. You want to do insurance in our state? Guess what? You have to be part of the government's Fair Act, and you take the risk, not the state.
That's not fair.
So watch what happens. They now have 408,000 policyholders, okay, an increase of 164% since 2019. Rob, can you go to the dollar amount of how much it's increased in the last 12 months? If you go right there, zoom in right there. You have it right there at the top paragraph. Jeez. Zoom in, look at this. As of June 2024, it is now $392 billion in dwelling coverage exposures, up from $284 billion just a year ago. By the way, that liability, you know who it's on? Who's that liability on? On USAA, on Farmers, on Travelers, on Nationwide, on Chubb, on Allstate, State Farm. Let me ask you a question. Who do they owe an answer to? These companies, who do they owe an answer to? To California, to their shareholders, to their employees, to their investors? Who do they owe, who are they being held accountable to?
Their shareholders and investors, number one, by definition.
So the shareholder and investor looks at the chart and they go like this. Hey, can I ask you a question? Yeah. Why the hell are we agreeing to this? Well, the alternative is California won't let us do business there. They're forcing us to be a part. But you want me to lose this much money and this much liability without making any money? Yes. What do you guys suggest we do? Leave the freaking biggest state in America? Yes.
Yep.
I never thought about it that way. Guys, guess what? Call California. We're done. We're out. Are you serious? Yes. Trust me, California will come back. Don't be surprised when these guys are going to be like, hey, California, Tom, how much longer can they go with this? This is one state, by the way.
Yeah, this is one state. And by the way, this goes on the heels of, Rob, look up CARP, C-A-A-R-P, California Assign Risk Plan. This is for the motorists, Pat, who have 2 DUIs but still have to drive to work, and now they get their license back. And it's the same thing. Drivers that can't get insurance, they force the insurance companies to be part of it.
So again, by the way, do you know what State Farm did just 2 months ago on July 3rd? Do you know what State Farm on July 3rd? Are you following this number here? Watch this. State Farm announced they are not renewing 30,000 homeowners insurance policies. Let me say that one more time.
Yep.
State Farm is one insurance company of many. In the state of California, they said, imagine you own a house. You get a letter from State Farm that tells you, hey, Vinny, sorry, we're no longer covering your home anymore.
So at that point, what, I have to find another insurance?
Go find another one.
Jeez.
Yeah, they do that 30,000 times. It happened to me when I bought the boat. Chubb dropped my boat insurance policy. But do you know why?
Why?
Because they saw a video of me being the captain of the boat on social when one of the Sam or Mario or somebody posted it. I got a picture with a link to the video saying, you're the captain, we officially dropped your insurance. They didn't drop it because of the state. They dropped it because they said, you're not the captain. Yeah. You don't know how to go out and be the captain of a 48-foot. These guys are sending it because California is forcing them to send this. So how much longer is this going to last for the state of California? I don't know, but I think California policies are hurting middle Americans. Their policies are destroying business owners. They're thinking the margins of what it is to be. It's just the same thing as what Kamala Harris is trying to do with the food price gouging, right? Yep. We were talking about this last week. When you think about like Publix here, or Albertsons, or Vaughn's, give me the names.
Ralph's.
Kroger's, Ralph's. What other names are there, Rob? Adam, I know you don't know.
Publix, Winn-Dixie,
Trader Joe's,
Trader Joe's.
Albertsons.
Well, Albertson and Kroger is the one they're trying to merge, and the Federal Trade Commission is saying no, right?
By the way, do you know what the margins are for supermarkets? Like if a supermarket does $10 million a year, what do you think their profit margin is?
It was
10%.
How much?
2%.
Are you ready for this, Rob? Just actually Google this.
I'm gonna say
I want you to Google this.
Can I guess, Pat? 2?
Supermarket profit margins. You said what? You
2%.
said it's 1.6%. Wow. You're right there. Okay, right there. Look at this. The range of 1 to 3. It's 1.6%. So you know how much money they make?
Very low.
Do you know how much money they make on $10 million? A supermarket sells $10 million of stuff. You know how much they make? Net profits? $160,000.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to be in that business? And Kamala Harris wants to say, we're going to put some restrictions on. dude, this shit doesn't work. Get the hell out of the way. What are you doing? This is their problem. They think they can fix everything with more regulation. Today on CNBC this morning, I'm watching these guys that are building homes, like home builders. Do you know the top 4 cities, I believe, that are building the most homes? I want to say 4 out of 7 were all in the state of Texas. You know why? Because Texas gives the fastest zoning permits. So they move the fastest.
And inspections.
We're in Oakland Park. We've been trying to put a gate up here for 3 years.
Since I've been here.
Rob, how long have we been trying to put this gate up?
Since we moved in before that.
For 3 years, Oakland Park still hasn't given us a permit. Who the hell wants to do business in Oakland Park?
Yeah.
Nobody. If your zoning permits are so slow, it's a freaking gate.
Yeah.
But in Austin, Dallas, Houston, go. California, well, let me think about it. What about this and what about that? Dude, I'm out. I don't want to deal here anymore. You force good people that are business owners out. That's all these people are doing when it comes down to right there, the top 4 cities building the most homes in California. Houston, Dallas, Atlanta's one. I think Austin was another one. And there's one other city in Texas.
Phoenix.
Keep going down. So that's the 4.
San Antonio.
Austin, Nashville, boom.
Yeah, Austin. So 4 out of 7 is Texas. Dude, I mean, why are they doing this? Because they're just giving permits like this. They're giving permits. So builders are like, let's go there. We can build it up. And the lady says, back time, 40 years ago, they used to say, when you asked the builder to build a house, you could expect to have your house within 6 to 8 weeks, they were saying. That was kind of weird. Small houses, not big houses. So the thing was fast. Says, now you're waiting 6 to 12 months. Who the hell wants to wait that long? So this is all because of regulators getting in the way and slowing shit down.
And there's a common thread between entrepreneurs in general. The uniform general feeling and sentiment is like, get out of my way, let me go create, let me go do something. And then when you run into red tape and you run into bureaucracy, even Bill Maher on his show is like, I'm trying to build a shed outside. It's taken me 5 years, yet he doesn't get to the next step where it's like, yeah, because you're in California. Yeah. And it would seem to me, Pat, you would know better than me, California just has one simple problem, and that's a math problem. They just think that the government is going to fix all. Let's just raise the minimum wage. Yeah. The one Congresswoman, Barbara Lee, I believe, she's like, I think we should increase the minimum wage from the fight from 15 to the fight to 50. Jeez. Like she said this, she proposed this.
Doesn't make
That's
sense.
$100,000 a year is a minimum wage.
And you know how the
math just doesn't work, ladies.
Exactly. You know how the story ends. The story ends where a bunch of insurers now bail out of California, leaving fewer insurers at gunpoint that have to do the special policies. And so when they go to the insurance commissioner and saying, look, I know you're trying to put us in the FAIR plan. There's only 4 of us left. And I need a price increase. And you know what the state will say then? They'll say yes, because they can't lose the last 4 that are the last 4 insurers actually standing to do it. So they'll lose those. Guess what? Do you remember what the stats were, what happened to the Affordable Care Act on its 3rd anniversary? Remember what happened?
What happened, Tom?
The premiums started going up 20% a year because that was the deal that the health insurers that said, listen, okay, Obama, we'll keep it frozen for 3 years. Remember that? And then you showed the sudden spike.
But it's like a balloon
because it was
payment.
Artificial from the government. That's what's about to happen here with the last one standing.
And by the way, Tom makes such a great point. You know what happens when that takes place? Guess who California, Obama, and all these politicians then blame when the rates increase?
The corporations, they're greedy.
Insurance companies.
Yeah.
That's what they do. And this keeps playing and playing. And by the way, watch this guy. Regular guy, Justin Trudeau, is campaigning, okay? And he's going out there. This Steelworker, simple guy. This is a very simple guy. Justin's going out there trying to win over these steelworkers with donuts. And then he runs into one guy that doesn't give a shit about donuts and just calls his ass out and walks out. By the way, this Canada right here is exactly the same as California, except maybe, I don't know if I could say worse or less, but it's exactly like California. So Justin Trudeau, think of him as Newsom's first cousin. Go ahead, Rob, play this clip.
Beta.
Hey, I'm good. Just one of the
He doesn't shake his hand.
Well, we got donuts over here if you want to thank you for your hard work.
I can bring some for my kids here.
Okay. The 25% tariffs we just brought in on Chinese steel to help you out.
That's going to keep my job, Dad. What about the 40% taxes I'm paying? And I don't have a doctor?
The $400 million that we invest in the cart means you're going to have a job for
I think you're only here for another year. We won't see you around probably another year.
That's what elections are for.
That's right.
And I look forward to everyone exercising exercising the right to vote.
Yep.
And the basic choice, we're going to invest in you and your job. So
I don't believe you for a second.
Dental care? Do you know anyone who got dental care?
Yeah, I pay for it myself.
Okay.
We're like 3 years behind.
You have a job and coverage?
Yeah,
but we
four
got
people
seniors.
in my family.
We've got
Every
seniors.
time we go for a dental visit, it's costing me about $50 in my pocket per person.
Okay.
Why? I have a good job. You're not really doing anything for us, Justin.
Well, actually, we just invested so 500,000 people haven't been to the dentist.
Yeah.
Got to go to the dentist over the past few months.
Probably like my neighbor that doesn't go to work because she's lazy.
You know what?
Doesn't go to work. She lives the same
Most
life I do.
Canadians try to stick up for each other, and that's what we're going to keep doing.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
luck and prepare your family.
Oh,
sir.
no, I'm good. Thank you.
All right.
He doesn't want to shake his hand.
Okay,
Like a
sir.
G.
Right, the other guys they got the donuts. Excellent.
They got the donut.
He is such a fake.
The other guys got the
human.
donuts. Excellent.
Like,
But by the way, that guy, that Steelworker, I don't know what his name is. I'd love to call him by his first name if I knew what the Steelworker's name is and give him credit. He's not a politician. He doesn't look like an MBA student. He doesn't look like a guy that started a business and sold it for $6 million. He looks like the average voter who loves his country, loves his family. He said 4, which means what? The average
Wife and
husband,
2
wife,
kids.
and 2 kids. He said, I pay $50 and we haven't been able to go for 3 years. The neighbor that's a lazy person is able to go, but I'm the one working and you're doing this to me. No respect, walks off. You think, by the way, say we start a city. Say we start a new country. Would you take that guy to be one of your citizens in your state?
Sure.
Would you like that guy to be one of your citizens in your state?
It's my first round
All
draft pick.
day long. Come on here, buddy. And we're not going to do 40%. Look at this. It's ridiculous. What is the guy's name?
They don't list it yet. I'm still
Man, I
looking.
wish we could see the guy. Anyways, he deserves a lot of credit for being straight up. But there's a lot. I went to a restaurant. I don't want to give the restaurant's name because, Tom, you know what the restaurant's name is. I'll text you. So I don't even want to give the city's name, but it's in this area. Matter of fact, I'll text you to kind of get an idea what we're talking about. So you all have been at this restaurant with me, okay? And it's not Angelo. So I don't want you to jump to conclusion, go to Angelo. But I'm out there having dinner with the kids. And we go there. And when we walk in, this is a high-end restaurant that's been in its location for 30 plus years. And I say, wow, this place is pretty empty today. And, that's kind of weird. So I get up. Every time I sit down, I go and wash my hands. And I always look around to see what's going on in the place. I come back, I sit down. And then I get up and I'm like, Tico, let's go for a walk, you and I. We go out to go on a walk we do our own thing and we have fun. And, then I come back and then the manager comes and sees me. He says, how you doing? I said, I'm doing really good. He's been taking care of us for years. I said, what's the, how are things? How's business? And he just straight up goes into it. He says, I'm down 13% 2 weeks in a row.
Whoa.
He says, look, I need you to keep coming to this place. Yeah. By the way, he's not saying it sarcastically.
He's being
I
dead
swear to
serious.
God, he's saying it like we really need you guys to keep coming because we really need the business as a local restaurant. I'm like, I said, why do you think this? He says, it's so weird. He says, I've been here for God knows how many years. I've never seen a drop off like this. I said, it's not like people are back to work. They're going back to school. Vacation time is done with. He says, yeah, I know. We're just not getting the traffic that we're getting. I said, well, if you're losing 13% and you're the best of the best in the area, your competitors are probably losing 20, 30%. Prices are going up. Menu prices are going up. How are we going to get people? There's stories about how many restaurants are shutting down in Miami, let alone nationwide, that these guys are going through. So this concept of, and Kamala's solution is what? Or Justin's solution is what? Hey, we'll give you $25,000 down payment for your house, right? Hey, we're going to do a fair act right there. Look at this. Their chain is closing down. Buffalo Wild Wings, 60 locations. IHOP, 100 locations. Pizza Hut, closed locations. Red Lobster, 99, 17 in Florida. Hooters, devastating. TGI Friday, Tom is emotional that they closed 36 restaurants, including 2 in Florida. Outback Steakhouse, 41 underperforming. Applebee's plans to close 25 to 35. And by the way, these are restaurants you know the names of. How about the restaurants that you've been going to in your city, local city for years, who are family-owned restaurants that maybe they have 1 location. Maybe they got 3, 5, 10. How about those guys? And then customers go in and they're like, wait, this steak used to be $38. Why is it now $52? Because I don't have a choice, bro. Mm-hmm. I don't have a choice. What do you want me to do? I just got a connect this morning from a guy that runs a cell phone shop, and he says Verizon dropped commissions from 60% to 30%. Verizon dropped commissions 30%. Why would Verizon drop commissions 30%? It's not like they're saying we'll drop it because we don't want to pay you anymore. We don't want any more business. It's because they can't afford it. They can't afford it. In the insurance business, if you don't go raise money when interest rates are high, when a lot of business is being sent your way, you can't afford insurance. So you increase underwriting guidelines to make it tougher. That's your way of saying, I don't want more business. And a lot of people are feeling it today. And, you know, the ways you can solve this thing is to force people to not raise prices or force people to do certain things. Or you can simply fix the economy, put it back into the people's hands, let them do their part. One thing to know, the debate is officially happening. Next is a Tuesday night, Rob. So we're doing, right after the Vol Conference, I'm going to be at the Vol Conference this weekend at Palm Beach Convention Center. Bunch of people will be there. Thousands of people are coming from around the world. Cannot wait to see all of you guys. However, next Tuesday night, we will do a live Trump-Harris debate reaction with a live audience. But just like last time, we don't sell the full room because our employees like to come. We're only selling the first 50 tickets that buy. We will still do the VIP. We'll still go afterwards, have the cigar, the conversations. We're going to do that part. That's the QR code. Go get registered. The first 50 that buy tickets will be invited to be with us next Tuesday. Rob, what time is is it going to be a 6 to 11 type of situation that we're doing?
Yes, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And of course, we'll do the cigars right after the debate's over with. And there's a lot of craziness going on here, but especially with everything going on right now, if you're following this will be the first debate they're having. Come join us. We'll have a good time together, as well as potentially for the VIPs, we'll do cigars and conversations afterwards.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.